do subdivision tonight and do zoning.
That's fine with me.
That's all right. It never hurts to be prepared for town meeting whenever that warrant opens, if we can be. If we can't be, we'll move on and try again.
Yeah, well, it's like, you gotta have public hearing, you got, like I said, you gotta have the planning board, so there's a couple more steps to this whole process.
There are.
Yeah.
I don't want to even touch on these sections yet. I don't think that we really need to.
You're not germane to what we're talking about here?
No, I think we have bigger issues with, with the use table. It's been a big issue, or table of uses, or chapters, whatever they are. Okay, I guess we'll start with residential districts, if that's all right.
Yeah. R1, 2.
Yeah, R1, R2, R3, R4. Just going. It really just doesn't want to work. I have this as Appendix A, and that's because when I started, I created this zoning chart.
Okay.
So this all your zones, color codes, everything, and then it has a chapter.
And then you got your overlay. Okay.
Yep. Whether or not we use this, or whether we break it out and put them into each section, I'm not opposed to either way. This is really just something for me to look at when somebody has questions.
And they're all online, like ours are not online, so.
Yeah,
They're all online.
They are in line. Yeah. Anyway, so I guess we'll stick with this for now, if that's all right. You might not have this.
No, I don't think I have it, so I'm looking.
I'll get it to you.
All right.
We'll get you this working copy after.
Okay, you got your permitted, okay.
Yeah, like these, I don't think there's an issue with that. I mean, roadside stands for sale products growing under 5 acres, which over 5 acres, that kind of thing is exempt from zoning anyway. So I think permitting it in R1 and R2 seems to make sense with the makeup of town and the layout of zoning here in town and things.
Well, then when you get down to recreation and golf courses, that's gonna be over 5 acres.
Yeah. Oh, that's just there's
That's just the old thing.
there's a general law about what's exempt under zoning and agriculture over 5 acres, or over 2 acres if you make over $1,000 an acre on products sold on site.
Okay, so there's a
That's a Mass General Law 48.
That's
a 48.
Yeah, it's 48 Section 3.
that's mass.
Yep.
Yes.
Did these make sense?
Outdoor camps, I'm looking here.
Yeah, and it's hard to kind of, if we maybe do that for each one or something, but if we have to.
Okay, I'm trying to figure, okay, so,
So S with a star is special permit and site plan review.
okay,
S is just special permit.
okay. I guess my
And
question,
P is permitted.
And P is permitted.
yeah, I got that, but I'm looking at golf courses.
Mhm.
R1, R2.
Permitted.
Permitted.
R3 and R4. R3 special permit, R4 special permit with site plan review.
Okay.
So we only have one area in town that's R4, and that is up on Ashworth,
Okay.
between Ashworth and 12. That one piece of property that's 300 acres or something, huge. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
I
Okay,
guess
now
the question is,
what comes to mind at golf courses?
Yeah.
And I go back to Pleasant Valley, where they built on the perimeter of the golf courses, and I think Pine Crest was doing the same, where you're building homes. I mean, and that, how does that come into play with the golf courses when you do have ancillary?
Well, that would
On the
probably be
perimeter,
sub-
they're
be
building.
on the subdivision most likely.
Yeah, it'd be under subdivision, or it would fall under here, under the residential, depending on what
Okay,
kind
okay.
of use it is.
That was my,
Does it make sense to just allow them by right in R1 and R2? Or was this done because there were 2 golf courses in town, correct? Now there's one.
One.
And
There's only one.
is that an R1 up there? Or is that R2?
That's in a residential area.
it is.
Yeah, but is there? I don't remember if it's R1.
On that side of 56 is all residential.
Is it R1 or R2 up there? Do you know?
Not,
Okay, well it doesn't matter, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, they're both.
And it also doesn't matter because it is. If we did change something, it's there, so it's legally non-conforming.
Well, I know they were talking about putting more homes in there and stuff, the owners of the golf course at one time, which is what they did at Pleasant Valley, they were
Yeah.
putting in. And I just don't know how that all plays into the golf course itself with the ancillary.
Well, that would fall under whatever you can do for residential.
Okay,
I guess I'm fine with leaving that for now. I'd kind of like to see a site plan on them regardless,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, you got roadways and connectivity, and you've got the same issues with snow removal, waste, all the other things that come in it. It's almost like a cluster development,
Yeah.
in a sense.
I kind of think
Yeah,
that,
even clearing of trees, a clearing of
Yeah,
some type of site plan, you just did.
yeah. So I have this as SPR. But I kind of think we need to add to this. Da 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 da. And if by SPR use the
yeah, okay, it's proof of a site plan. Because there's a lot of things that would come into play with that, everything from stormwater to septic to
yeah,
water.
absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's-
just in uses in general.
And you change the whole usage, all of a sudden this thing becomes more active.
Okay, so moving.
Yeah.
I kind of think that it should be SPR.
Yeah, I'm hung up on the golf course, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Are we okay with that?
Yeah. Because today they can't make it just as a golf course, they
And
host.
then we just do.
And I know Pleasant Valley ran into it when they proposed with Sutton.
Yep. Outdoor tennis or swimming club. I don't understand why it's a site plan review there but not there.
Yeah, it should be straight across. Same as.
Should be across.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for the sake of making things easier.
More consistency.
I'm gonna just do that. I'll change them later. Day camps.
So what's the definition of a day camp?
Joslin. I don't know. Well, there's some are day, and it's a quasi. Joslin has day and season.
Claire Barton.
Claire
Barton.
Yeah.
Again, day and
Oh, but
seasonal.
Claire Barton has dorms, doesn't it?
Yeah, they have seasonal and day.
Okay,
They
so
have
they're
both.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those would be special permit and site plan review. They are not allowed in R3 or R4.
Okay.
So I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, those are supposed to be multifamily, smaller, tighter lots. And,
Right.
looking forward at housing in the future, we probably need to leave that open.
Well, I know Clear Barton had a problem with their water and some of the issues
Oh, wait a minute.
as far as
Sorry,
what they could.
day camps would be allowed, same thing.
What?
Why are we, is that okay just to do a site plan on both of those as well?
Yeah,
And then, so day camps would be, no, sorry. Campgrounds with tent sites. Well, what about campgrounds without tent sites?
yeah, it should, tent
that-
site should not be the qualifier, it should be campgrounds, period.
I think so.
You've got waste
Do you
issues.
want that in a residential area?
No,
Potentially.
really?
Yeah. I mean, look at like Sturbridge. Sturbridge has some really nice big campgrounds where, you know, you bring your RV in and,
We're not talking about RV, this is tents. Tents.
well, I was saying just getting rid of with tent
Yeah, be
sites.
anything, could be RV, could be, campgrounds would open it up to anything.
Yeah.
RV, park, unless you wanna call that out separately. You got hookups, you've got wastewater, you've got
Same,
brown,
yeah,
gray water.
looking at just R1 and R2. I'm just thinking like
Okay.
if something opened up like on Robinson Pond, there's a defunct subdivision on the east side off of
I know.
Joe Jenny.
Yeah.
You know,
To the back,
if
right.
somebody wanted to do a really nice campground there, it's on the pond and, you know,
What district is that in?
R1. So it'd be a special permit and site plan.
Yeah, because you've got egress issues. That's what they ran
there's all
into in
kinds
Pleasant.
of
Yeah,
issues,
I mean, I know that's one of the big qualifiers that Sun Valley had as far as getting in and getting out in the traffic and the impact off 146. Yeah. I know we dealt with that.
Patrick doesn't like campgrounds.
Not that I don't like them. It's-
Where do they
In
belong?
a
Do they belong?
residential area, I mean, you made
Yeah.
a good point where if there's a pond in the residential area, that's a good point, you know.
I mean, or like backside of Sakurapa or something like
Yeah.
that. You know, the town owns all that property over there.
Oh, well,
I just think with tent sites is a little ridiculous.
yeah. You want to keep it a broader.
Right.
Well, you could clarify campgrounds in the definition, you can modify. the
Yeah, you can
definition.
modify it there.
Yeah,
And then maybe include,
to include.
yeah,
Again, I hate to mention Sturbridge. They have a great definition for campgrounds. I actually stole it when I was in Southbridge to use with their bylaws as well. So, picnic and outing areas, all by special permit.
You go from one extreme to the other.
I just don't understand what in the heck we're talking about with that. Like that's is that a commercial picnic and outing area? I mean, typically I would think a picnic and outing area would be like a park.
yeah, park, like purgatory, like,
Which
they
we
is
have-
it Sutton?
Yeah.
You can have like grills there, you can go there, picnic and.
Right.
Purgatory Valley, that whole area in there too.
Which
Unfortunately.
unless we're talking about municipal structures or uses, parks are not allowed in residential. Unless they're public municipal uses. I just don't understand why we have that in. It's just, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Like who's gonna go, oh, I really wanna have a picnic area on my 40 acres of land that I've got out in R1. Oh no, you have to have a special permit for that. I just don't understand the point behind it.
Okay, I'm thinking Siglatory Rod and God Club, they have a picnic area there off. In addition to their,
Yeah, but are they primarily a rod and gun club or are they
Well, they-
primarily a picnic area?
for outings, corporations can, and we have rented their facilities and had outings and picnic areas and pig roast and that kind of stuff. So, just saying.
Well, that's more like
Okay.
a banquet assembly, that would be assembly use banquets.
Yeah, Well, but if it's outdoor,
Inside, outside.
I mean, if it's, yeah,
It is outdoor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have an indoor facility, but this was outdoor.
I think then we need to have a pretty decent definition of what the heck we're talking about here. Which I'm gonna guess we don't have. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's move on because we'll be here all night with this.
Mhm.
Hiking, jogging, fitness trails permitted across the board. Sure. Why not? Again, I don't know who's doing that on private property, but whatever.
Well,
Riding stables have a whole host of issues.
yeah. We have 2 or 3 of them up on top of Conlin.
There's one up on Federal Hill.
Yeah.
Federal or Fort Hill, there's one up there.
You know, when I'm thinking of hiking and jogging trails, the trails and all the stuff that we're talking about doing, connecting, going forward here with it.
Yeah, but that's
Where the abutters are,
but that's municipal.
it abuts residential area too.
Yeah. But it's still, I think that falls under this. Municipal.
If I owned a piece of property that abuts the trail, I'm just wondering the impact, negative or positive, to my property. I'm an R1 or R2. So I'm just thinking
So
out loud here.
there are studies, like, you mean like our river trail or rail trail, whatever you want to call
Well,
it.
and the stuff we're proposing going forward here over the next 4 to 5 years, they're talking about, doing this increments, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
total of about 8 miles.
Mhm.
But there are butters.
So typically, there are a bunch of studies, and I've read a couple of them, it's been years, but studies show that actually property values go up when they're adjacent to those things. Anyway,
Well,
riding stables? Does anybody really have any hard or fast issue with riding stables being permitted by right?
no, the amount of land you're gonna need for riding stable is,
Yeah, there's not much left really out
I
there.
mean, what is it to keep a horse on a property? What is it, one per 5 acres? I think it's something like that.
Mm-mm.
Was it? It's 1 per so many acres. What is it?
No, it's not. Yeah, there's actually a general law that considers horses as transportation. They're not considered animals.
I thought we had something on the books that said you could only keep a horse.
We may have something in our general bylaw
Yeah, I think we
somewhere,
did. Yeah, we did.
but the state has a law that says that you can have 1 horse per adult member of your household.
So that would go against our general bylaw, pretty much. I
Yeah.
love this state.
It's probably been on the books since 1603 or something like
Okay,
that.
all right, yeah, probably.
Back when that was your only mode of transportation. They're considered a mode of transportation, not an animal. I found that out the hard way.
Oh, yeah?
That was years ago.
And see, I was under the impression that we limited it, and for good reason.
Can we move on to residential? Okay. 1 family detached, that's the board, sure, makes sense. Boarding or lodging houses for not greater than 4 paying guests. Not allowed in R1, special permit, permitted in R4.
I'm thinking Airbnb.
It's different than an Airbnb
I hear you.
in that this is like a country inn kind of
Country
thing.
club, an inn, right, a
Yeah.
B&B.
A B&B.
Yeah.
Again, I would ask the same question similar to our campground thing. Is there harm in allowing those in R1?
There's a reason why they excluded it for some reason.
Yeah, I just don't know, like, what's
I don't know what
the
that would
reason?
be.
I mean,
Maybe because it's so intensive an area, the houses are closer together.
Yeah, I mean,
R1's our biggest, and that's 60,000.
Well, now, but,
Yeah,
but prior.
maybe.
R1's
Just highlight that one, we can maybe go back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
because
do a little bit more research.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I'm thinking the center of town, all these homes that could be turned into Airbnbs.
Well, that would be here.
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it depends how far you go, because this is VB and then GB.
Yeah. And then you go,
Then you go right to the left
Oh,
of B
that's-
and the R's.
Right, 2 families and duplexes not allowed in R1, permitted across the board in all the other zones.
And this came up in someone looking to do a 2-family in R1, and it was not allowed.
It was allowed?
It was not allowed. The only district that was not allowed.
Yeah. When I worked in Connecticut, we had a few different zoning. We had what most places would call like an RA, residential agricultural kind of thing. Minimum lot size is 1.83 acres, 2 acres roughly. And then we had R2 with 40,000 square foot minimum. Those kind of things. We allowed 2 families in all of them. I do wonder whether or not we want to allow it by some mechanism in R1. I have a feeling that
look at where the state is going.
Right, that's
Okay,
right.
look at where the state is going.
Well, the
tiny
state's-
houses they're talking about.
Mhm.
We already have the, in-law apartments,
Right.
accessory dwelling units. We already have that. We're trying to simplify that as well too.
Yes, we should be simplifying.
So
Get that.
why not?
I mean, should it be a special permit, site plan review? I don't see the harm in allowing a 2-family. And the other thing is that if the state comes down and says, no more only single-family dwelling zones, then we have to make that change. So
Yeah, I
The
heard.
only thing with 4,
are we better off being proactive and allowing it, and not necessarily by right, as much as I like things to be better right, there's just some things that make sense or don't make sense.
well, parking becomes an issue. The driveway issue.
R1 is a larger lot, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have quite, well,
In theory.
in theory, larger lot. But someone want to build a new one, they would have to follow the zoning
Right.
for today.
Well, you got waste, you got 4 families generating waste, you got parking issues, you got access to the waste, driveway issues. Those are the things that come right off the top of my head to a 4-family,
Well, this is
No,
this
2
is
family.
2.
2 family.
This is
2 family.
duplex.
4 paying guests, I got it. Just saying.
I wonder if we should do this by
Special permit.
special permit.
That makes more sense.
And somewhere up above, right, some sort of caveat that it's only for, like you have to have 80,000 square feet instead of 60.
Mhm.
Because you're going to have bigger septic, potentially not.
Mhm.
If we like do something with increasing the lot size for a duplex. Unless it's in a cluster development, which would be by special permit anyway.
Right.
And this would be for new. So
This would be new.
existing, if they want to do a 2-family and say R2, they don't have the lot coverage, they still got to go for the variance. So this would be, we're looking for new.
So
So it's permitted by right.
Permitted
but
by
they
right.
have to meet zoning. We know that's a given. It's permitted.
that's where you and I disagree. Because if it's a permitted use in the
Use.
zone, and you have an existing dwelling, it should be allowed by right. Because it's a use that's allowed by right.
By right.
But I get what you're saying, and then what you're saying, does make sense that if it's an old building and it doesn't meet setbacks, it's just hard. The problem is like the one that we had over on Pine, when he came for his variance,
Mhm.
I had every single person that we sent notice to, almost, called me and said, "What are they doing over here?" I said, "Nothing. They're renovating the building. It's going to stay exactly looking just like it is." Well, this says that it's going to be 6 feet, and it says it's going to be 3 feet. Well, that's what it is. Well, why do they need to go for these variances then? I don't know. Patrick said so. And I'm not disagreeing with you, Patrick. That's
No, I
not
understand
not my point. But it's like I didn't have the reasoning why they needed to go for a variance on that.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
It's something you and I just can discuss and whatever. and then come back at another point.
Because over there was R1, I believe, right? He wanted to make it multi-family.
He's in housing overlay. I think it's R2 or R3. I think he's R2. And he want. I understand for the use going from a 2 to a 3. Yeah, he needs variance.
Mhm.
I agree with that 100%. I just didn't understand the need for the setback variances when it's an existing building.
You know, it was lot coverage, so it was an issue, right?
I think so. Yeah, there were
There
like,
was a lot of lot coverage.
I mean, it was a list that was as long as my arm. His legal notice was almost $200, which is a lot. Anyway, we'll
Yes.
talk about that later. Next, multifamily dwelling. This one I'm okay with that, except for this. With the exception that we don't really have sewer in town. I mean, R3 I think should be, is typically a 3 or 4 family in most other towns.
Mhm. Also, too, there is a footnote for two-family go back. This is the 50% rule, chapter 6, for the water storage. There's a footnote, 50% per lot, per dwelling. There's a footnote here.
Meaning,
Chapter 6.
Wait up. 7? The 6th is.
I'm sorry, maybe it's chapter.
The 6 is industrial.
Chapter 10, using the X. So there you go, chapter 10.
Okay, chapter X.
Talked about that.
Yeah.
We had that conversation, Roman numerals. Okay. Let's
Nope,
see.
one more.
I think it's page
Oh, did you mention
There it is.
Okay.
32, I believe.
Yard requirements.
Multi-family, 5 or more. Two-family dwelling, 50%.
5 feet from any other setbacks.
So it's 50% is it multifamily? No. Oh, okay.
Multifamily. Following regulations, okay. Buffer strip, okay.
Is it the local initiative developments?
50-foot buffer lines.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, there it is. Section 6 in 10.6. Where two-family dwellings and duplexes are permitted by right, the required minimum lot size shall be increased by an additional 50% of the size required for a single-family home in the applicable zoning district.
Granting a special permit by the planning board, okay.
So that would be going from what is it, 40,000 to 60.
All right, 50%.
80,000.
80 to be 100.
So if you had, say you had 15,000, you need 30,000 for it to be a two-family, or you would go for.
I'm thinking R2 is 40.
Lot 2, okay.
Right? 20. Yeah, R2 40,000.
So you need 80.
So you need 80.
So
No, you would need 60. It's 50%.
Percent.
Another 20,000.
Yeah, great.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
60.
Okay.
And then you'd need 90 for R1,
Mhm.
potentially. Is that why?
I don't know, density, I don't know.
You think it'd be the other way around?
Well, you need to have a minimum lot size for your septic, well,
Right.
potentially well, setbacks and everything else. But you can easily fit all that for duplex on a 40,000 square foot lot. On a 20,000 square foot lot, okay. You know, you're talking some sense. I mean, I understand maybe making a note in here. Like starting us off in R3. Two-family dwellings and duplexes are permitted by right. The required minimum front lot size shall be increased by additional 50%. Like that seems to make a lot more sense to me than, hey, you've got a 40,000 square foot lot. You've shown us that you can easily fit everything on there for your duplex, but no, you need 60. It seems like it seems like this was written to make people not do duplexes. Which, if that's the goal of the town, then fine. I don't have any, I'm willing to acquiesce to what the town's wishes are, obviously.
I've never,
I've never seen this
No.
before, and
hey, we're looking for affordability. The community, we're going where the state's going as far as,
yeah, there's definitely, I mean, looking at the housing production plan.
right, that's what I'm
preliminary
saying.
numbers and
We're
things.
going,
Yeah, people want an affordable house.
right,
And,
they wanna get their toe in the water, so to speak, to build equity, then,
and
move
what's
up
the
the
cost
ladder.
of buying an acre lot versus an acre
Right.
and a half lot? 100 versus 150,000, maybe.
okay, for sure today.
I don't know, Patrick, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. It does make sense.
Do you think that's okay? I mean, we have to propose this to the.
Oh, yeah, the planning board, yeah, it's gotta go through.
Anyway.
Right.
Um,
Well, that would be my thought.
So it's all two-family dwelling units and duplexes are permitted by right.
Yeah, and currently it's where two-family dwellings and duplexes are permitted, right? You have to.
So are we gonna change R1 to permitted?
No. Oh, that's a thought. I don't know why this is being so slow. Come on. There we go. So I would change right now to a special permit. Do you think it should be permitted instead of?
You got me on that one.
I'm looking, so if they have, from what I've seen, that come in for lot sizes in R1. It's like a 50-50 shot that they meet today's lot cut size.
Yeah.
It's like a 50-50
Yeah.
shot. So if we wanna bring more housing in, at least, right now it's a no. If you wanna bring more housing in, at least give them the special permit.
Yeah, that was my thought on it.
But do we still include the 50% additional?
If we make that change, it would only affect our
R1,
R2.
R3.
yeah.
I mean, I think we can get input from Rika when she's back on that.
Because we have a lot of nitrogen.
We do have a lot of
soil, too.
nitrogen, and maybe that's we make a caveat, unless directed by the health department,
Mhm.
something along those lines.
Because I think they need a minimum of 40,000 square feet.
For a 3-bedroom. Yeah. I think that's right. It's 10. Is it 10? It's either. Yeah, it's
It's a lot of land.
It is
It's
a lot.
almost an acre, yeah, an acre basically.
It's essentially an acre. Yeah.
But what I think you should do is, you have this here, and then when I first started here, I was reading this.
Mhm.
Great, no problem. I didn't know about the 50%. You actually have to go
Right.
look for it.
Right.
So we should probably put a footnote or something.
So I think, like in here, 2-family, we can put in here. Make this copy. Subsection guy. So then it would be,
So they have at least, they can go look.
we need to put, because we have so many references to things, we've got to include this at the end of those tables. Anyway, okay, let's go back. Multifamily, I don't really see an issue with this one. Site plan review and special permit.
And again, you have the reference.
Yep. Yeah, and that one actually has a reference in here. Chapter 24, subsection 5.1.
And chapter 10, section 5.
This might actually be chapter 10.
Yes.
I don't know why the. Okay. Anyway. Back to here. Cluster. Permitted by right. So that'd be a cluster subdivision, which cluster subdivision typically, and we have bylaws on this, on what its requirements are. Typically, how we did it, what I wrote back years ago was we threw out all the setbacks and everything. And what we had said was, you need to give us a conventional concept. Well, you got, let's say, 20 acres or something like that. And you can show us that you can get 10 house lots in there once you factor in your drainage, open space, and everything else. Okay, so you've got 20 as your base number. Now we're going to throw out everything as long as you can fit your well, septic, and house on the lot. That's all you need, with the caveat that you do then give extra open space. Be it to the association or whatever that they can use for their own rights or whatever.
Yeah, but
And then we did density bonuses, which I've talked about this with the planning board, and they're on board with looking at that with the cluster. Where if you do low impact development for whatever percentage, you get an additional house lot. If you do low income, voluntarily low income, not a 40B, you get an additional, unit. If you use green building, you can get an additional, all those kind of things can factor in. I like them being permitted across the board. I think that's
what,
thing.
that's where the state, I think that's where we're talking about going as far as.
Well, I mean, developers typically, I don't know why this is not used more, because developers love that. That's what I found. Guys would sit there and go, you mean instead of building half-mile road, I can build a quarter mile? And have the same number of houses on it? Perfect.
Consider what a road costs today.
Right.
Per foot.
I mean, your drainage costs are lower because you don't have as much impervious surface. There's a number of factors about that. Are we good with that? We'll move on.
Yeah.
Accessory / in-law apartments.
We had changed it, so to.
Well, it's special permit.
Well, in-law apartments we changed it to additional living space by right. It was removed.
So that's an N3.
Is that with them changing the footprint or without them changing the footprint?
Without.
Without them changing the footprint, right?
Yeah, but where does it say that?
So those are all the definitions.
Yeah. Those are here standards. But by special permit.
Oh, I don't think that's right.
This is this was the current.
I don't see the date. Usually there's a date of when it was changed.
14?
No, it's 23. 18.
That's from retail, commercial.
Keep on going down just there. Kindles.
When in 23? We didn't do that in the fall.
And that's the what page is that?
13?
13.
Well, not 13, I'm sorry. It's before that.
12.
11. 10?
See, that's the same. That's the old one. See, this is word for word for this.
Alright, 1 minute.
This is word for word.
Oh, let's just go away.
Because I don't know if you can even open the old one because they changed it over.
Did it?
I don't see it.
Yeah. I don't either. Did it come back from the Attorney General?
Well, you may have to
So they're allowed by right
in the same footprint. Yeah,
in the same program. But that makes sense.
Yeah, but
it's not there.
It's not in
It's
here.
not changed.
But the,
It's not because you don't need a special permit now.
if it's within the same program.
Correct.
If
it's in the same, I remember the
if it's an
meeting.
addition or anything like that, you need to, it's a special permit.
Yeah. Which we think about actually.
I think we need to change it. And
Change that
the
too.
planning board,
That and they had to have a separate egress.
the planning board is on board with changing that also.
Well, I remember the meeting. They had a separate egress and then it had to be in the same footprint.
Have to find that language.
Why didn't that updated though? Scary.
Yeah. All right. What are we thinking? By right? Across the board, or
Yeah, but we may want to word it.
yeah, we can make a reference to something, some sort of language. Maybe by right in R1 and R2.
Well, right now, accessory in-law apartments. Right now, it's allowed by right.
If it's within the same.
Correct.
This would be not
So-
within,
Right.
not
so-
necessarily within the same footprint.
That's
so
different.
So can we add something? We would add one. We would add.
Add a use?
No, add. You would add accessory in-law apartment. You could add something to clarify that
Yeah. Whatever date.
apartment.
You know what, let's just do,
I remember driveway access and parking were an issue. Even in the same footprint. That was the conversation they had at the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back.
Well, that was a question that came up. So
Right.
if you're gonna do it by right, what about the parking in the driveway? Typically residential, you know, you have enough parking in your residential. What are you really adding?
Adding another car, they were talking about a car and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that,
And-
that's
and-
all allowed by right?
It's all allowed by right.
I think off-street parking became an issue, weather, all that stuff. In other words, cars could be on, enough space for the cars to be off, not on the road. That was an issue.
Are we?
I remember the meeting.
Yeah. So let's talk detached, not in the existing footprint.
So detached,
Right now, it's all special permit.
correct.
Are
So
we
additional,
okay with?
additional footprint
Yeah,
and detached.
Right.
And then we also have one for commercial.
right. That's different. That would be under commercial. That's not in here. I'd like to see them being permitted in R1 and R2, with a caveat that it's for single-family homes only.
So by rights, R1 and 2.
By right in R1, by right in R2, but only if you have a single-family residence. So if you have a duplex,
Yeah.
that's it. You get two, and that's it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if you have a single family, why don't you, in R1, why don't you just turn it to a two family? Because we just changed it in R1 to two family.
So
See what I'm saying?
yes, no, I understand. So same thing. When I was in Connecticut, we allowed duplexes in R1. When we first did our accessory dwelling units, they were by special permit. After we had done a few of them, we were looking at this going, this is ridiculous. These need to be done by right. So we allowed them by right. However, you had the option, duplex or single family and the in-law. And I will tell you, 90% of the people who had the option to build one or the other would build the single family and the detached in-law.
Well, right. So the detached in-law
Because
is
they-
going to have a restriction possibly on square
It's
footage.
gonna have a restriction on square footage, it's gonna have a restriction on number of bedrooms.
Yeah.
They liked that versus having to share a wall or share a floor or ceiling, with somebody.
Mhm.
People like that. And the other thing is, a lot of these are for either mom and dad who are getting older, or Johnny came back from college. He's annoying. He's playing his music and video games all day long. Get him out of the place. Let's shut him off. So, giving them their own separate area is, most people like that.
Going back,
Because the thing is, once you do, if you allow it with the duplex plus the accessory dwelling unit by right, now you're going to multifamily.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Which we just talked, multifamily is either not allowed or special permit site plan review. Or will be adjusted later, whatever.
who was it we denied that was, he wanted to do, not, like a duplex, or wanted it, it wasn't family. It was just recently,
I know
and I'm trying to think.
something circle, something. The road is something circle.
We denied him.
He was too close. I think he was too close to the property line as well.
Yeah, but besides that, it was something else too. It wasn't family related.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we allow that. We allow you to do it as a rental.
What was he, but he was coming in,
Which is the
he was proposing it as a family related, but it wasn't family
oh, he
related.
wanted to do it. He wanted to not live in the building at all.
That's what it was. It wasn't gonna be owner
He was going
occupied.
to be owner occupied.
That's
You
what,
still have the caveat that it's owner occupied.
yeah,
One of the units, whichever one it is
Right.
fine.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna be around.
Right.
More of an investment.
Yeah, and that makes sense to say no. We're not giving you that.
Right.
You have to live in the property. We don't care if you rent it, because let's face it, if you put your kid from college in there, he's going to have a car. If you rent it out to a kid from college or whatever, he's going to have a car. Your parking's going to be the same. Everything's going to be the same. The only difference is you've got a relation versus somebody who needs a place to live. And honestly, who cares? Really?
It was owner occupied, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
So accessory in-law apartment, special permit, special permit, special permit.
Well-
One
Permitted, special permit.
special permit,
So R3 and R4 would be by special permit.
special permit, and then do you have the footnotes?
Yep, so, yeah, we'll have to add that into the other section.
Because when I see a lot is more now, the minimum is I think it's 800 square feet for accessory.
Yeah.
It's 800. That's the minimum. A lot of the ones they're going over that 800, 1,000, 1,200,
Mhm.
and they're getting approved.
Well, it's mostly, but that's through the but that's in there, that's in the
Correct.
accessory language, that you limit it to 1 bedroom, 800 square feet. If you wanna go above that, secure a special permit.
But if they're already going through, permits, they're already going, R3 or 4, they're already going through the special permit.
Yeah, then they can do
They
it.
can do it at the same
They
time.
can do it at the same time. I think we need to add a caveat in here with this. Because an assisted living residence could be misinterpreted as a group home. And group homes are protected under ADA
Go over it too, so.
and over. So I think we need to do something along those lines. And I can- there. Senior, no, I can't spell, sorry. Senior.
What was I thinking?
And then, are we okay with that not being allowed at all in R1? I mean, I guess I get it, but like, look at like Christopher Heights in Charlton or whatever that's over there, right? Is that what that's called? Place that's across the street from the police station in Charlton.
Oh, yeah, the home.
Yeah, I mean,
The
that place,
Sonic.
yeah, the
Yeah.
place is gorgeous.
It's one in Webster too. It's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Webster's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
It's gonna be a lot of big piece of land.
That's
One
a
way
set-
in,
right,
maybe
exactly.
2 ways in.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm thinking over here, we got the vacant property over here on Charlton Street, Sandalwood there. That could become senior assisted living. I mean, if they ever did something with that piece of property. I'm not saying they're going to, but
is that the one that's on
it's right across from the DPW.
Yeah, on Pine, yeah.
I know they got some issues with septic and stuff. But
Mhm.
the other thing that comes to mind that I know there was an issue, and it had nothing to do with assisted living, but it had to do with the group home and transitional, whatever I want to say, halfway house or whatever for youth, wayward youth. They were going to
Yeah.
put something in the neighborhood
Well, those are allowed by right.
They're allowed
by right.
Yeah.
That was a problem.
I mean, we don't mention it in here, which technically means they're not allowed. With the
They are
exception
allowed.
that they are allowed,
Yeah.
and they're allowed by right.
Yeah.
Because the federal
State
government says
says
you
they
have
are.
to allow them.
There's one up on the Wake Street. There's one up. I think there's one up on Wake Street.
Oh,
Watch Street. I think there's one up on Watch Street. I've done some inspections there. That's all I know. So that's all residential up there.
So do we think not allowing senior developments or assisted living residences in R1 is okay, or should it be just like the others, special permit site plan?
to me, it should be the same. Special permit.
Give them the opportunity, you know. Give them the opportunity.
I think site plan is definitely necessary with
Oh,
that.
definitely.
You know,
Oh, God, yeah.
gotta have your parking, gotta have all those things.
There's a whole list.
Yeah, there's gotta be a whole list of requirements
Yeah.
and things. Okay, well,
You got fire code, you got everything. It goes on forever.
okay. municipal uses by right across the board. Museums, special permitted, not allowed in R1. This,
Not allowed in R1.
yeah, but like, yeah, there's that farm up on,
Lovett Road?
no, not
Was
Lovett,
it Brown?
Brown Road?
Federal Hill.
Oh, Federal.
It's like one of the first farms in town, potentially, something like that. It's still a working farm.
Wozinski?
I don't remember. I don't know. I'm just wondering
They're
if,
up there.
like, if somebody wanted to do like an old Sturbridge Village type thing, like a living museum kind of a thing, on that piece of property, or on,
Well, the
or
second.
on the one on
Whittier or
Brown,
something.
whatever that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm thinking off 147. I mean,
Or Whittier, yeah.
Whittier.
And Whittier's got tons of property in town too, so. You know, I just don't know.
The only other museum that comes to mind, and it's right off 12 here, right off Main Street, is the Huguenot Steamer 101. They rehabbed
Yeah.
that building. That's a museum.
Yeah.
It's got the old fire apparatus in there from 1800s and stuff.
But that's also,
I don't know if people go there, but it's there.
it's also
Museum.
municipal.
Yeah.
So that
Okay, so it's municipal. All right.
municipal would be allowed by right, but
It's the only museum
You know.
that comes to my mind.
I'm just throwing it out there as, is that something we want to entertain?
Well, if you do, just, site plans, or special permit, or both, or,
Yeah, you're gonna need.
Just like R2.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with it being. Cemetery, churches permitted across the board. Dover says we have to do that.
Yeah.
Cemeteries are not allowed in R3 or R4.
I would just leave it.
I don't think there's an issue with that. Philanthropic, historical, or charitable organizations are not allowed in R1 or R4.
I don't know why they would do that.
This one gives me pause because I've never seen a town do that. You know what? The other thing we don't have in here is educational uses. I know you can say it falls under municipal, but if somebody wants to do a private school here in town, and they have a bunch of property in R1 that they want to do that in.
The only one that comes to my mind is the French River thing we have up here off where the dog park is up. It's
There's a
educational.
vocational school too, the vocational school off of, is that Webster? HVAC school, there's one over there.
Oh yeah, there's an HVA school, right.
But is that state or municipal? I mean, is that municipal
No, it's
supported?
private.
private?
It's private.
It's right on the Oxford Charlton line right there. If you go back, I mean, you go a couple hundred feet, you're in Charlton.
That's private.
Yeah, it's private.
I think we need to add educational as a use category. Like private.
When
No.
you say educational, there's educational for the use, but then you look at educational under the building code too, that's a little bit different. It's usually school ages,
Mhm.
where you get into anything over 12th grade is more of a business use under the building code. So if you're gonna put educational, is it all educational?
Yeah,
Any type of,
yeah.
so you would probably have a good definition for education.
We would have to for
Adult education,
so-
yeah, like you said, anything over 12, grade 12, yeah.
But what's it, so we say educational, so is a pottery
Trade
class?
school.
What is a pottery class educational? Is an art class educational?
So that,
Someone's gonna
It
bring
can
that
be.
up. Yeah, it can be, someone will bring that up.
yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Why is this? There we go.
I don't think she does it anymore, but right there on Charlton Street, she ran a pottery class there, ceramic class.
The lady just applied on,
It was years ago though, I think she doesn't, she's elderly now, she doesn't do it anymore.
this is,
She have classes.
I don't know why. I just know that I did, wow, they changed all this. This is what happens when you leave places they don't.
Hiding it.
Yeah.
The top one, established bylaw. 19, adult marijuana. Okay, that's zoning
Yeah,
bylaw.
those are all- Yeah, heck with that. Go to the town clerk. I know she's
Proposed bylaw.
yeah, it's in there anyway.
So we should have it set up like that. Or...
Yeah, well, they use whatever it is, the Eco 360.
It'd be a lot easier to find stuff.
It will be.
Hopefully we're gonna get there.
Well, I think that's one of the first things we should probably look at too, is to set it up so it's actually user friendly.
You have a user-friendly,
Right.
right?
Definitions in the middle of the book.
Yeah,
So they have
We gotta clean that up.
this in there: public or private nonprofit educational use,
I like that the way that's worded.
and then
That's
private for-profit educational use. You know, I think if we add both of those in,
Yeah,
we can.
What was library museum, if you go back, sorry.
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
just
no, no
curious what they have there. Library or museum?
Allowed across the board
All the
by right.
Hospital.
and what about hospitals? It's just
Hospital,
no,
nursing home.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
no
no.
special permit, no.
no.
Central Core is there downtown, 1 mile in there.
Which is our village overlay.
Retail business, general business, office research, which is like our light industrial, and manufacturing, which is our industrial.
You know, I like those two definitions, one for profit, one for non.
Yeah, I kind of think we need to add that in here under institutional. Just do that. You okay with that being permitted across the board? I think Dover says we have. Should we just do? Special permit or special permit and site plan?
I'd like to see a site plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. You okay with not allowing that in R4? Or should we go ahead and just?
Because it's too dense or.
Yeah, just potentially it's too dense. Or because we have one property in town that's R4. I don't even have to,
Even.
Be consistent.
Yeah, okay.
That's where you've covered the whole.
Yeah,
Across the
that's
board.
you have to cover the whole gamut.
Yeah, you never know. So you covered yourself.
We're back to museums. We'll leave that as a special permit in those two zones, or change them to permitted across the board. Let's sleep on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant. I think I'd leave it as special permit. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have a crystal ball.
No, that's true.
And who's to say 5 years from now, or we're all dead and buried? Not that this thing we won't continue to
No,
update and review, and then the
right.
state comes in and changes everything for us.
Yeah, of course. earth removal, I don't like it not being allowed in R1. It just does not make a lot of sense to me that it's not allowed in R1.
Why do you say that?
Well, pretty sure that the earth removal that's going on here,
Is that Lane?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure that that's zoned R1. Yeah.
So it's not allowed, but it is allowed.
Well, he's been doing it for so long. It's,
He hasn't been, it goes back to Worcester Sand and Gravel. He bought it from them, Scavone, because I go way back on that.
I think we should do that by special permit, and I think we need. I
Yes.
know that you guys are working on bylaws for that, right?
Mm.
I think I want to add in here. Filling.
I mean,
So we.
the problem we have with that operation, and it's inherent, it's not him per se, as the operator, it's just the nature of what he's doing. It's the blasting and what it does to the groundwater, disturbing. 1 minute you don't have arsenic in your well, the next year later you might, depending on what area they're working with, whether they're blasting, and the fact that it does affect people's buildings and foundations.
Sure.
I have a whole history on this. A lot of abutters. The camp, Clara Barton was impacted.
Yeah.
Their well. I'm going back to 92, 93, and back when money was a little worth something. It cost them about $30-something thousand to put a system in, and they ended up. This is before Lane took over, by the way. This wasn't Lane, but it's not Lane per
No,
se.
it's
It's
the
the
use.
nature. They're not removing earth.
Right.
They're
Right.
not digging. They're blasting. That's the problem that the abutters have with their buildings or their structures. Just saying.
But so then, same thing. If there's a new one of those coming up, having that be a special permit will be
Right,
something
because
that,
if you're digging, it's one thing. If you're blasting, it's totally different.
airfields.
Well, we only have the one, and that's.
We had the one, it's gone, it's now eco leasing. We have a chapter on airfields, but it's blank. There's nothing in it.
I don't even know where you put one in this.
My thought is get rid of one.
Yeah.
And same thing, get rid of the use
Yeah,
in totality.
yeah. There's, I mean, the
I
way.
mean, with the way FAA is and everything else, they're never going to allow an airfield here.
Southbridge still have one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But not by, with Worcester being that close.
Yeah.
They're not going to allow one here.
I'm just thinking all the abutters and stuff when they, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is 6:11. You have another meeting to get to.
No, I don't. They just said they reschedule
Yeah.
it, so that's okay. So we can keep going.
All right, let's keep going. Are we good to move on?
Yeah.
All
You're
right.
going to get rid of airfields.
Getting rid of airfields. I am proposing we get rid of the North Oxford business, and because it is it's technically spot zoning. It does not have a minimum of 10 acres. It's a little triangle where like Topper Land Survey is, and there's a bunch of houses. There's nothing there. It seems to make more sense. It's got general business on one side of it, general business or residential on the other side. If you want that to be a business district, combine it with the general business. So that would be a map change and everything else in the future. But for now, I'm saying let's get rid of it.
I'm not that familiar with it, so I won't comment on it.
Yeah. So it's in the bylaw twice, but I'd like to just get rid of this completely.
I'm not happy with spot zoning, period.
I'm not a fan. This one at least has a chart, which is nice. Okay.
Hopefully we get to something like what Suckers had. That's great to have that kind of an index. You can go do it.
Yeah.
Both for your purpose, on your end, both sides of the table.
I'm gonna toot my own horn. I worked dang hard on that. I think our uses in here
Are all the definitions,
are very, very, very specific.
that's what I was getting to, are all the definitions,
Where, like, building materials dealers, hardware stores, and then lumber dealers. Why do we have both of those? I know they can be different, but
lumber there was usually rail access and stuff where they bring in carloads of lumber.
maybe. Yeah, I mean
that was
in the past, sure.
I'm going in the past, exactly.
I just wonder if we should, like, what is wholesale trade? Patrick, I'm looking at you.
I don't know what the wholesale trade is. Maybe vehicles,
Could be anything.
could be, yeah.
Maybe
Could be
Auto and home
textiles.
supply. I mean,
Could wholesale anything. It could be beauty supplies, it
Right,
could be
what's
cars,
the-
it could be,
wholesale trade, is that, are we talking like a plumber's office, an electrician, supply house?
yeah, we have one right here in the corner, right outside.
Could be like Robert, could be.
Where you can, it's commercial, you don't walk in as a, it's all wholesale.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't walk
wholesale.
in there
Yeah.
and buy a plumbing fixture, it's all trade.
Is that what they're talking about with that? I don't know. And it seems like we need to
And the same thing where the park is now,
narrow these things down.
where the Oxford Business put the park in. Prior to that, it was wholesale, it was grain and seed. Now they relocated. But you didn't go like Home Depot and buy your grass seed. You had to be a landscaper with a license, state license and everything to go in and buy the chemicals, whatever, the fertilizer, whatever,
Yeah.
and it was wholesale trade. You didn't walk in as an individual.
Right.
And that was right in the middle of town where there was a rail siding. Now it's a park. But I'm just giving you,
Yeah, that kind of makes sense at the time, but now,
I don't know.
auto and home supply stores, and then furniture, home furnishings, and equipment store.
Oh.
Okay, there. Why do we need both of those? And why is an auto and home supply store not allowed in village business, but a furniture store is allowed in village business? This is why we're not going to be ready for
Yeah.
whenever October comes around. There's just
There's too much, yeah, you're not
to
gonna,
deal with.
yeah, you're not gonna.
It's
He's gonna need 3 or 4 more sets of eyes on this stuff.
And then miscellaneous retail stuff. So, isn't auto,
that's
Isn't it
I
retail?
almost think we just want to
isn't it just retail?
do retail stores, get rid of everything else that we can look at in here that would be a typical retail store, and just make it permitted across the board. I don't know about OP does not exist anymore. I don't think. I think that is now this is ridiculous. Office and professional district. I think that was down here, and I think it's now village business. No, that was central something. Anyway, I don't think there's anywhere here in town where there actually is an OP district. At least I've never found one. So my immediate thought is to just get rid of that completely. That doesn't exist. So retail stores.
Well, and then right below it, you have fuel.
And ice.
It's like 1960.
Yeah.
And that's how 7-Eleven started selling ice and then gas. Yeah, exactly.
So
That's how they started, ice and gas.
can we
Go
get
back to
rid of,
1960.
can we get rid of lumber dealers?
But here's the problem. You got retail. Now you have the other thing. You have retail stores / gas at FAA Cumberland Farms. You have a combination. Honey Farms. You have both.
Well, there's two uses there. So you have fuel, and then you have the
Right.
convenience store. So which
Right.
one is accessory to which one is accessory to each other? Is
Right.
it fuel is the primary, and then we had this discussion a lot on the zoning. So which one is the primary use? And it's usually fuel, and then the store is accessory to the primary use.
I'm gonna just kind of, if you guys agree with this, let me know. If these are all retail establishments. I'm gonna leave that for now.
I would get rid of ice. No, you don't need to put that. That doesn't need. That's just shows you the age of it.
I really kind of think this really just should say.
It goes back to the 60s, early 60s, by the way.
Instead of dealer station.
So when Cumberland Farms is doing their down on Main Street, when they're doing their new remodel, so they have the fuel, and then they had the convenience side of it, and then they added pizzas,
Right.
cooked food. So does that trigger restaurant? So that,
Multi-use.
Multi-use.
It's multi-use.
But then restaurant, you have seating. Now you're talking parking, and it just gets
Well,
more convoluted.
You
as
don't
go
necessarily
further.
have seating.
There we don't, because they
No.
don't want seating there,
Right.
because they would screw up the parking.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's how.
But
they used to-
but you're right. Like Cumberland Farms in Southbridge has seating.
Mhm.
Built inside
Well, then
the
you
house.
go to restaurant. What was the definition? White tablecloth seating. What type of restaurant it is? They actually qualified a restaurant, whether it's more of a diner, whether it's white tablecloth seating. Believe me, you get in a. Well, the saving graces are village overlay on a lot of this stuff,
The
from an
village
aesthetic
business?
standpoint.
Yeah, it is.
That's
I think
the smartest thing we did was we have that so that there's a say that can be, how does it conform to the existing?
But at the same point, eating places except fast food and drive-ins, I think that should be allowed by right.
Fast food and drive-in.
No, not fast food. So a sit-down table service restaurant.
Or you could do restaurants by whatever method, but drive-through if it has the ones that have a drive-through. they
Yeah,
have
so
to do
fast
a
food and
special-
drive-in, or let me just do this through restaurants. Permitted in general business, site plan and special permit in highway interchange.
See, when you have a drive-through, I think you should always have a special permit, at least a site plan too. You want to see it. You
I
want
think
to
the
see
site
the
plan-
drive-through.
You want to see the queues. You want to see, because it impacts the roadway that it abuts as far as queuing. Whether they have enough queue space.
A site plan? Should definitely be a site plan if it's got a drive-through. If it's
You
fast
really
food.
want to see it because you can
You don't know
prove
which-
it, and it could be a traffic nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Staging.
Driveway
I've done a
cuts.
few of them. Chick-fil-A. I've seen those, and how they do
Oh,
double
they stack.
lines. And look at the one in Worcester. You go with them.
On Shrewsbury Street, right? The Chick-fil-A on Shrewsbury Street.
Yeah,
It's a
there's one
nightmare.
on Park Ave. They have people directing traffic.
Yeah.
Employees directing traffic because
Yeah.
it's so busy.
So they just opened one recently, just north of Albany. it has 5 drive-through lanes.
Yeah,
that's-
that ain't multi-drive-through lanes
And
there.
it's still
Not,
you
you gotta
not
queue off the highway or the roadway.
right.
That's the
I mean,
thing.
you go to the Chick-fil-A in it's either Framingham or Natick.
Yeah, well,
It's same thing.
I drive, it's terrible.
It's
You think you're in lane, but you're not. You're in queue.
Okay.
So at least get a site plan so
I
that
think
you
you're
can
right.
see it.
You're right. It should be a site plan.
Yeah.
We don't want it in VB.
No. Fast food in no, because that would the village business is
kind of ruin the
to have that
Have the
small
aesthetics.
That's
downtown homey feel.
Yep.
Um,
Okay, good.
But to make it be a special permit and site plan review it's excessive, I think.
Yeah.
Alright. So we just have retail stores, permitted, across the board permitted, which would fit all of these things, whatever that is, and God, and whatever. There might be other uses that we want to put in here. I don't know, off the top of my head, I think we need to get rid of this. Because we have that fuel station down here. Fuel. The only place that's permitted is general business. I think that makes some sense.
It's not there anymore. I was thinking Butler Fuel, but it's gone now. So RV thing. What's up?
So if anybody wanted to add a new gas station,
It would have to be in general business.
So what's the zoning down in Sutton Ave? Is that all?
That's highway interchange
Highway
or
interchange.
residential. If it's up here on this
On
end,
this end.
it's general business. So,
Because they did do a zoning change to bring that GB further up.
right, I had a realtor come in from a property that is general business over there and said,
Because you
well,
could see a gas station over there,
yeah, yeah.
versus the 3 we already have on Main Street.
On the- yeah, over there, yeah.
We got the Sunoco on the other end, on the north end, and then Cumbies on the south end.
And this, what's the other one down
We've
there?
got coming on the north end too.
Teddy, what's the others?
Oh, yeah,
So-
Sitco there,
Sitco,
across from
yeah.
high school.
There's several. I mean,
And then the other companies is actually in Oxford too, so.
Yeah, it's right on the
Mobile.
right on the
Mobile,
fork.
So we go at 5, 6?
Well,
5,
once
6.
the mobile,
there's
well,
one
one's
on Sutton.
abandoned, the BP.
On Sutton Ave.
Yeah, but on Sutton, there's the,
There's one up on 20 too, that's ours.
yeah,
Oh, and Shell.
on 20 and.
Oh, yeah, Shell
and
on 20 and
56.
So we got like
56.
7 or 8.
Yeah,
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 that's impressive.
yeah. I mean,
So do you don't wanna, so what is Route 20 up there, that is I?
That's all-
LI and I.
okay, so,
So we don't want any more up on 20 or the.
well, there's a lot of general business up there on 20.
Mhm.
So if it's GB, hey, you're good to go.
What's this photographic studios? It's not allowed with,
Permitted by right across the
and
board.
then,
Mhm.
and then
But
commercial
a
dark
commercial
rooms.
darkroom is not, I mean, commercial darkroom, you really can get rid of that. They just don't exist anymore.
I don't know, is that because of the chemicals they use? I mean,
It is because of the chemicals, yeah.
And personal services, we wanna kind of give a good definition for that.
Yeah.
Cause there's more to that you could.
There
add,
is.
You know.
Tattoo shop, there's a lot.
There's now they're doing all the body aesthetics,
Yeah.
school, cool sculpting,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's all kinds that could be included under that.
Yeah.
Yes, so yeah, such as XYZ 1, 2, 3. And then we go to the, this kind of, these are all still commercial uses. Where's this one? I'll find here. Automobile renting and leasing services without drivers. Why are we specifying without drivers?
So, that's like
Like a limo, a
enterprise,
taxi.
yeah, enterprise, your limo services, budget.
Yeah, no, I mean, all of those would be,
Without drivers would be your limo, like you.
no, with driver would be a limo.
Yeah, this without drivers, so this be,
So that's like enterprise, budget,
Yeah.
Davis,
or U-Haul
U-Haul.
Yeah.
trailers,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But do we have to specify without drivers? I guess it's so that we don't have like a taxi yard,
A taxi station,
taxi station.
Yeah,
like at a train station.
But the way the state does livery permits and things, that's through you guys, right?
I think so, I'm not sure.
What was that? What was it?
Livery,
Livery service.
because you can get livery plates on anything.
Yeah.
The number of people who came into my office when I was in Southbridge to get livery plates was,
It's a side gig, yeah.
yeah, makes them legit for,
Yeah.
They're not Uber anymore, they're
Livery.
Johnny's Taxi. This is a commercial enterprise. I kind of think do we need this label? It's still all commercial.
Which one are you talking about now?
The business services. All of these uses are commercial with the exception of hospitals. Although even those are,
Well, nursing home facilities above it,
yeah.
that's your Sandalwood again.
What do you have then? I almost want to kind of just hold.
Recreational services, dance studios.
Let's do that. There we go. Okay. I almost want to get rid of these two lines. Just keep this all as one.
And then miscellaneous repair service of what? Shoes? Cars?
Well, the auto
Appliances.
repair shops are up here.
Yeah, so this is
Of
everything
what?
but
Of
then.
what?
Of what?
Be everything else but. So the same question is, if somebody wants to open a cobbler wants to be a cobbler.
You know, confusing when someone comes in, they want to open a business. What are you repairing?
Yeah. So, guy wants to do clocks. Wants to do clock repair right over here on Main
These are
Street.
computer repair. So miscellaneous. So we say miscellaneous or all other.
I would say all other. I think that's a better.
Yeah, you got a guy right here sitting out there repairs computers and you break your
Yeah.
cell phone or you want to replace your battery, you go right over here to Chris.
Does that make sense for it to be special permit in village business?
For all other.
Yeah. I think we can do auto,
Auto service such as what was the other? I can't see that.
auto repair shops, let's say, including, no, I don't want to say this. How do I want to put this? As auto slash, yeah, sorry, hold on. Deleted too far there. I want to say auto slash, motor. Motor vehicle repair shops. That would cover motorcycles, scooters, boats,
Trucks.
trucks, planes,
We
automobiles.
have a repair shop off Pine Street, truck repair at the end of Pine Street. You know, where Dunkin' Donuts, you go in that side street. Isn't there a
Oh, that's
diesel
not
repair
Pine,
shop
that's
in there?
Pine, that's not Pine, that's,
Is it, not Pine, that's the other.
it's Pine something. Yeah, there is something down there.
Yeah, at the end. Does diesel repair, diesel truck. I mean, there's another one right before Walmart on the opposite side that do
That's
diesel repair.
That's DW Diesel down there. DW Diesel's down there.
But this is right off here.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
he
can,
specializes in truck repair, diesel trucks, big tractors. Yeah,
you can
and that's residential. Till you get to the end.
this one apart, right?
Yeah, that's it, Park. Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Maybe it's not
That's not active. He's not.
He's not active now?
He owns the junkyard.
He used to do diesel repair. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
stopped.
maybe
now.
it's not this one, maybe it's somewhere
He
else.
stores. There's like a lot of junk vehicles there.
He used to repair tractors.
Really?
Yeah, semis. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Okay, so permitted,
So auto services such as car wash and towing services, you should do. It's permitted, but you really should have site plan, especially for car washes.
Yeah. Retention. Yeah. A lot of. We only have the one right on the.
Well, the Shell on 20 has
the
a
Shell
car
20
wash.
car wash.
I don't know if Mobile on 20 does. I don't think they do.
I know we were thinking about putting one behind Honey Farms back in the day. We didn't, but we were thinking because of the wetland issue.
That's it.
Yeah, the one down here, the one
That's-
up there.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's. I think this should be permitted by right, if we're not talking about with a motor. You know. Just gonna- Gotta caveat that so that somebody doesn't come in and say, well, I repair lawnmowers or I repair string
Chainsaws.
trimmers or chainsaws.
Yeah. Small engine repair.
We don't want that to be in the all other repair services. You know, the all other would be your quiet things, non-motorized.
And you don't want that in the HI too? In the HI district? Up in,
Might as well put it in there. I mean, like
because there was a
if the computer guy wanted to go down to the next to AT&T if there was space open, that makes sense. Am I right?
even, right, or
Site plan.
site plan? 'Cause even,
I mean, if we know that there's plenty of parking and everything else down in that plaza, we have such a small area of highway interchange. Aside from undeveloped across.
across the street.
I know, the undeveloped across the street is a
Yeah.
different animal. But if somebody does like a strip type of thing, a small scale
Mhm.
Millbury, Blackstone Valley, Blackstone Common, whatever that's called. There's a small scale version of that. Well, what do we say up here for retail? We say permitted in highway.
What is car wash and highway? What is car wash? It's special permit. Car wash and highway.
Yeah, special permits. Wait a minute.
Car wash too.
Yeah, that's
Special permit site.
site, good, just special permit.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, we need to see a site plan on that. But I think we might want to add in here,
Well, doesn't the other Shell down there have a car wash too, or no? That is Dunkin' Donuts.
That's a Dunkin' Donut. There's no car wash.
No car wash. Just
wait a
Dunkin'
minute,
Donuts.
Shell.
The one over here, right,
Across from Home Depot.
Yeah.
Home Depot Plaza.
coming in, right where the plaza is in the
Oh,
front.
yeah, no, they don't have a car wash, they have a Dunkin' in there.
Just a Dunkin'.
Yeah,
Drive through.
I
Because you can see they do a mall down there across the street. On
Yeah.
Dunkin' Land. Some type of, kind of what they have the mirror image of the other side, and they can throw.
Right.
They can throw a car wash in there.
you know, let's do the shopping mall
Maybe a Jiffy
Slash.
Lube or an oil change place.
plaza.
Yeah.
To make it, you know, not allowed in, not allowed there, and I would say not allowed in general. And do we want this to be special permit and site plan?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Okay. Not just site plan.
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, okay. Alright. See, I did find a use for that. Who knew?
It's nice to have one.
I think there's actually might be a definition for something related to like shopping mall plaza.
Oh,
There we do have
you
a
know what?
definition.
We may want to. I'm just thinking about Eastland on Route 20. Their commercial development that they, their preliminary showed a restaurant and a bunch of offices, and a plaza type configuration, or a couple restaurants and some retail. We probably want to do the same thing here, also, in general business. And then we can, and if we have a definition, we can caveat that to, must be over XYZ acreage or whatever. Amusement and recreation services, including only dance studios and schools, bowling alleys and billiard parlors, athletic clubs, and indoor. I want to get rid of only.
I'll put it all, including not limited.
Or
Not limited to.
or such as.
Yeah, not limited to. Something of that nature.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I went to this great bar in Brooklyn that was a shuffleboard club, and they I was too old to be in this place, and it was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I was a little bit younger than I am now, but I mean, this was all 20-somethings all playing shuffleboard, and they had table tennis and board games. And it's a great bar and great food. It was a huge facility. Something like that.
Do you want that? Do you want that?
I don't,
Do you want it in the VB though?
well, you might want a dance studio.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter's dance studio is downtown.
Yeah.
well,
And
there's
they just
the old
opened up-
post office, there's a dance studio, but I don't know if that's, is that
Yeah,
That's
village?
general business.
That's general business.
Dance studio, yes, but then you say, do you want a bowling alley down in the VB?
And there's one in the plaza off Millbury,
That's
You're
dance
kinda-
studio.
yeah.
I mean, would one ever go there? You know?
Probably not. The
You know?
lots are too small, but yeah, it's. So maybe we want to
Take bowling alley out.
take bowling alley out. Leave billiard parlors, athletic clubs,
Take
and
tennis courts out.
well, that's indoor tennis.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just cover us that way. Such as dance studios and schools, billiard parlors, athletic clubs, etc. Yeah, I think removing bowling alleys that's a good one.
Last time this town had a bowling alley, it was right behind us here for the senior center. That was bowling alley.
Really?
Yeah, that was a bowling alley.
Oh,
I date myself.
health services.
Yeah. Do we have, I want to see if we talk about, I think we talked about veterinary someplace. Oh yeah, there it is, veterinary. Okay. Sorry. Special permit and highway interchange, I think makes sense.
Yeah, they have
We really want that to be.
the urgent care down there.
Yeah, but I think that the philosophy behind that is for large scale retail, big box retail, or similar type of uses,
All right.
not to fill it with offices of dentists and things. Well, we had a dentist in down there too. And that's my kid's dentist. It's the kids one down in across the street from the urgent care. Nursing and personal care facilities, sure. Why not? Hospitals, no issues there.
Well, personal care, that's not.
Such as nursing
Yeah,
homes.
but that's
and
not,
rest homes.
okay, all right.
It's different than that. Apparently.
Yeah, that's more of an institutional use
Yeah.
versus like an outpatient. Okay. Medical and dental
Dental
laboratories. So like Quest Diagnostic is that
Yeah.
like-
Yeah. A blood draw, a blood bank,
Mhm,
maybe. Place that makes dentures,
mhm.
but it wouldn't necessarily be someplace where you would go. Or you could go, maybe, I don't know.
Legal services. Do we really have to spell out legal services, or would that be under business uses, or?
Could fall under personal, but there's also commercial law and things like that. I think it's okay to,
Just, is
Now,
it the
going back
same, is it the same approval across as?
no.
It's not.
Going
As
back
personal
to-
service? No, I don't think so.
Going back to medical services, that doesn't include what we're working
Oh, it
now
is.
with the
It
state
is.
on bioparks. It's not
Which one?
right there, medical. and
Medical dental labs?
That's not, the definition of that would not include bio.
I would think that's more of an industrial.
Right, that's
type
what I'm
use.
thinking. I just
Yeah.
want to clarify, but
Yeah. I know what you, like the industrial sciences and industrial health and those, no.
Right.
Individual and family social services. Instead of including, I would like to say such as.
that can include everything from Planned Parenthood to psychological services to, you know.
Right. Job training and vocational rehabilitation services. Okay. Can I change this to no? Not allowed in highway interchange. And do you want to see a daycare next to the gym?
It's not a fit.
No. I don't know what this is versus this.
Residential care, yeah.
Yeah. I was like to get rid of that one. No, come on. wanna get rid of that one and that one.
What?
We just covered. In this. It's this.
That's the across from the honey farms on the other side there's a apartment building.
Oh, it's vacant right now.
No. You know, it's brick. It's not vacant. It's the brick building. It's parallel to. Isn't that residential care? Isn't that?
We're at the corner here?
No, it's not on the corner. It's not on the corner.
It's down further.
Yeah, it is on the corner, right? Where?
There's a couple different businesses.
It's just a brick building. It's like an apartment building, but it's not. I think it's affirmed residential care. Danny Robbins owned it back in the day.
Isn't there a barber shop in there?
No, yeah, down from that though. No, it's not. It's not Tag Realty at the barber shop. No, this is where the side street was. Where I was just talking about where the
Park Street?
Park Street, right? Park Street's adjacent to it.
Well, it's
It's
vacant.
not-
Though.
yeah.
It's vacant. Where was going to go
It's
there?
a brick building.
Starbucks?
No. That, I'm not talking about the vacant building. I'm talking about
The one across from it.
across from it.
This one.
Yeah,
That one. That's the-
not that. No. It's a brick building. That used to be urgent care at one time. Now it's the home.
This one.
No,
That's the
that's the vacant one.
That's the vacant one. That's
No,
the Benny.
It's up. It's a brick building, right? It faces Sutton Ave, right on Sutton. It's an apartment building, and I think it's residential care apartments. I think they're all affirmed. Nope, that's the vacant. It's down from that.
Is it right next to it? It's gotta be this one.
Yeah,
Then.
yeah, it is next to it.
Yeah, so it's gotta be that one that has no picture.
Yeah, it's a brick building. Robbins, see it up there? That's the one we're talking about. See, Daniel Robbins owned it back in the day. This is the building I'm talking about.
It's not brick. I think it's white. White
Yeah,
color
it's
white.
the white one. Yeah.
Well, she wanted she did a special permit to change the commercial to residential. If it's the same one.
Yeah, I think that's still the same one.
Because it used to be.
Social Services and Agencies. This was
We
something.
addressed that right here.
Yeah,
Why are we saying it twice?
it's the same permitted use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get rid of it.
I'm just saying that's
And
the
then-
people that live there have some affirmity or they're challenged or in some aspect or another, and they're in an apartment setting.
Yeah.
But there's some it's almost like an assisted living,
If it's that kind of like a group home kind of thing.
kind of like a group home. They're
that
all
that would be allowed by right through the
okay.
state.
Well,
It's
I don't
not
know,
something
but
we don't want to mess with those things.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just
It's not fun.
no. I'm not against it. I'm
No,
just,
I understand. Engineering, architectural, accounting, bookkeeping, counseling services, blah, blah, blah. We actually want to get rid of this. Because we have counseling services there. I'm going to say same thing, not allowed in highway interchange.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to go to bookkeeping.
I don't think they would
Start-
want it. They wouldn't even want
They
it.
wouldn't want to go there
They
either,
wouldn't wanna
right?
go
But
No.
still, so.
It makes no sense. But
And these days, most of those are like home businesses. They're not.
right.
You
Well, you got the one here on the corner. Business Solutions right there
Yeah.
on the corner.
non-commercial scientific and research organizations. Special permits, except for here.
Non-commercial.
So, the thing I never get this. We allow health services, doctors, whatever, by right, but vets need to have a special permit and site plan review
In what zone?
in village business.
Yeah, but probably because of the noise.
The noise probably is the fact.
I can see a
it's
special
40
permit,
bucks.
but a site plan review also.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm okay with leaving it.
which
It's
is
just-
fine, but you just want to see if they're gonna have outdoor kennels. And they
Yeah.
That's
fair.
You want to.
How they're maintaining, a lot of they,
You just want to.
Yeah.
Is the facility clean? If they're doing surgical procedures on the animals, that kind of stuff. There's a whole.
Commercial kennels, which is, I'm assuming that's what this is referring to, as a commercial kennel.
Mhm.
Permitted in, I think we have the same issue. I mean, that should be a special permit and site plan review also. For the same reasons. What's your outdoor space?
That's what, GB, what is that?
Yeah, GB.
GB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where are we, kennels? I'd like to get rid of that in highway.
No, there's
I mean, maybe, but
no, you don't want
I
that.
kind of want that to be more.
You want that in an area that's not.
Right. And so this planned shopping center or mall, I think we addressed that above.
Yeah.
Delete this.
Now, kennels. There's a school on Charlton Street, been there forever, dog training school. The dogs stay over. And then they come, the owners of the dogs that are being trained, they come in once a week or whatever, and they train the owners. They train the dog and then they train the owners.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they meet in the middle.
Yep.
But it's not a kennel. It's a school, but they're keeping the dogs over.
It's a kennel.
It's a kennel, but
It's
it's
a
a train, but that's not the purpose of it. They don't stay there.
They're not staying
once
there
they
for
graduate,
vacation.
and when they and the owners graduate, they have a graduation ceremony, but they train the owner with the animal. I'm just saying, I don't know, when we say kennels,
Yeah, I've been to those.
that would be falling, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Office buildings permitted across the board. Same thing, do we want to allow an office building in highway interchange?
Mm.
Well, if they do a mall with a second floor,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they want to do offices above,
Yeah.
you don't really see it too often.
I can't see it today, not today's economy,
Yeah.
but
And even
I know of one.
accessibility, but
And it was built in the 80s.
yeah, you're not gonna see it today.
Yeah. Auto wrecking, junk and scrap establishments,
Wow. Special permit.
special permit and site plan review. Okay, that makes sense.
That comes with all kinds of
Yep.
issues with pollution.
Agriculture, horticulture, floriculture, viticulture, blah, 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 more than 5 acres, permit across the board. That is again MGL section 3. It's part of the Dover amendment, we have to allow that. Hiking, jogging, or fitness trails. I don't see why we can't permit that across the board, but I get why we're not allowing it in NOB because it's tiny little spot zoning, or in village business because there just isn't any, we have sidewalks, so.
I just don't see where it'd be practical.
One family detached dwellings. Not allowed, not allowed, permitted in village business.
Boy, you got me on the space, I don't know, how detached.
Well, that's just a single
it's
family.
single family. Yeah, with the other business, it's still, you got a single family there now.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not have another,
Right.
someone build a beautiful colonial or,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they're there. So it's saying, but begs the question, should we also permit 2-family in there also? Later
I'm
on.
not gonna make that decision.
I'm gonna highlight it and then we can bring that up to,
Well, that would be something you wanna talk to the, like, historical committee too, maybe bring that up to them, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wanna,
I mean, Oxford's not really a mill town, like so many other New England towns are. Where you have those historical Victorian duplexes and or whatever, Italian age duplexes, we just don't really have that here.
It's not Northbridge, one of those other.
Right,
communities.
Northbridge, Southbridge, Webster, Dublin.
Yeah.
Accessory apartments, all special permit. I think that's fine. Multi-use. I would like to see this either special permit or permitted.
GB?
In GB?
GB.
Yeah.
Sure.
Permit or special?
Special permit.
Special permit. There we go.
Well,
Um,
didn't we just address that?
I think here, same thing.
Where they could have an upstairs on businesses, did we just
Yeah.
did that, right?
I mean,
They
it's-
could have the residential.
Well, no, we were talking about offices above.
Yeah,
This
Yeah.
is residential.
Residential. I
Residential.
mean, why not have
right.
the ability to have an office or whatever on the
And
first
rec-
floor, commercial on the first floor,
The residential.
on residential above.
I thought we.
At 7, you want to stop?
Yeah, if you want.
Pick up.
Sure.
Okay.
Save it. Don't lose it.
Definitely don't want to lose this.
Shoot me that, and then I'll take a look at it.
There's a lot of other notes in here that I've,
So you've been working on it.
We may add some additional.
Oh, what, they got
Just
yeah, this planning board will look at it, and everybody else will look at it.
All right. There. I'd say I've dated.
Outstanding.
This is the first take, so.
Yeah. Yes.
Wonderful.
Ah,
There we go.